we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As I'm sure some of y'all have already figured out. Welcome to Ncaa 14 Masterclass, man. It's your boy Leverett KT and your boy
It's your boy Moon Vibes popping up. Like, wow.
Moon Vibes. You go ahead and let them know what they can expect with this.
Well, the masterclass, we came up with it just talking in the chat in one of the last streams, and as a way that we can like spread knowledge, spread knowledge of NCAA 14 because a lot of people play it. This community is just monumental as far as the support that they show. So we started thinking bigger and deeper than the surface. Like, how can we, educate people, put them onto new content, and go deeper than what people have gone before. So that's what we have right now. And you're tuned into the first ever masterclass. We're gonna be dissecting a lot as far as the game of NCAA. We're gonna talk about recruiting. We're gonna talk about pipeline stage. We're gonna talk about coaching skills trees. We're gonna talk about any and everything that has to do with this game and how we can actually use it. Because the slogan, if you're faithful to NCAA, NCAA will be faithful to you. So that's how we get it cracking.
Let's go. So this first episode specifically, we're gonna focus on coaching skill trees. So give me a moment as I go to our 2x1 screen. Solar Falcon, man, what's good, player? How you doing, man? I see we got some heavy hitters in the building, man. I see my man Ty Rizzle was Nody Gang. TDK Isaiah was Nody Gang. He on Ice Kid was Nody Gang. Hoel was Nody Gang. We got LL Cool Brad in the building. Hey, let's get it, man. This is the first ever episode of Masterclass. We want to be dropping some knowledge. Please go get your one of your favorite NCAA streamers. Bring them here. We're going to bring them along. We're going to make sure they stay safe from the motherfucking slider police, man. So without further ado, we about to jump into this, man. So boom. We on the two by one screen. For some reason, at the last minute, my camera just decides to act good.
He said NCAA will be faithful until you put it on a black set. Then-
Hey man, you gotta. I ain't gonna lie to you. It has been faithful to me as of late, man. I definitely have won a couple natties. So I can't complain, man. Using a lot of the things that Moon Vibes has taught me, and so we've had this masterclass discussion before. This is like the first time that we bringing it to y'all, man. So, so we about to start a dynasty, and I told y'all this first episode is gonna be on coaching trees. So during these live streams for the masterclass, we're not gonna have Nightbot. We'll turn that on afterwards. So if you got NCAA, grab a pen and pad, man. We about to go through it. So I thought it'd be a cool idea since this is the first episode. I tried to get the rosters that Moon Vibes has. I couldn't get them because I just recently changed my name from Hollywood to I Leverett KT, so it wouldn't allow me to download the shit. So I don't know, whatever. So we just gonna go with the rosters I have. So I'll load up.
Don't play 2K. He on Ice Kid. And even if I did, you don't want no work, bro.
Yo, Nice Kid almost beat me earlier, man. Actually, man, he was up like 16-0.
Heard about your little one-on-one match. He was trying to get it.
Yeah. He was up 16-0, man. Things happen. So we're gonna start a new dynasty. You want to create a new coach, Moon Vibes, or you want to go with the existing coach?
We can go with the existing coach that way. Skill trees will be already there. We don't got to
cut down on some time. So it's an offline dynasty. Of course, I do have inclement weather where I'm at, so if at any point my stream cuts off, my apologies. So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna kind of use this as a guide as we go along with each episode. We're not gonna be playing this. We're pretty much gonna be focusing on some of the titles that Moon Vibes was talking about earlier. Just kind of give y'all a bunch of information. Flicksog, what's going on, brother? So custom conferences. I think the team that we are going to go with is Merlin. So we just got to put Merlin in the Big Ten.
Yeah, put Maryland in the Big Ten. I guess you can just to even it out, put Rutgers over there too.
All right. Let's look at Big Ten. Bat some Maryland there, and then you said Rutgers, and Rutgers right now would be in where?
American.
American. Gotcha.
Yo, what's up, Flicks? Yeah, this is gonna be wavy.
Yeah, bro.
Get your notepads. It's a lot of information that's gonna be coming at you.
Man, I'm
Um,
telling you, bro. A lot of this has definitely helped me
yeah, we're not gonna
through the process.
Yeah.
So you want to just get started, man? Like, 'cause it's other changes I would typically make, but just to save on time a little bit, we just gonna dive, man.
Mhm.
Tired as fuck. Got up at 6 a.m. to go fishing. Just got back. Damn, bro. You don't got inclement weather where you at? Cause it's it's a little messy over here, bro. So we about to begin this dynasty.
And prayers to everybody that's dealing with this hurricane right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you wish you had NCAA. Did we ever pick our team? Is that process? That's right here. Okay, my apologies.
Just keep going. Yeah, keep going.
All right, so we're running with Merlin. We're gonna be head coach.
You might as well do a Coach Cosby.
Coach Cosby. All right, so here's the coaching skill trees that these come with already. He's a level 4 at game management, a level 13 at recruiting. The defensive coordinator is a level 9. The offensive coordinator is a level 11. So
that's time, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Moon Vibe. So how do you want to conduct this as far as the skill trees? Where exactly would you like me to go inside of this?
Before we even start with that, let's go back out and we can do a little brief rundown of what y'all can expect for this episode.
All right.
So we're gonna be talking about how important the skill tree is because it's extremely important, and I'll let y'all know that the more that we get into these episodes. But the recruiting tree, in my personal opinion, is the most important. I don't even touch the game management tree until I've maxed out on my recruiting or I've got to that highest level. We'll talk about those levels in a second because they're important. But before I do so, let me start by telling you this. So at the beginning of your dynasty, whenever you start, you're gonna have the option to pick your coaching level. So when you pick that coaching level, you can start from the default setting, or you can start and go all the way up to level 20. That's the highest that'll let you go, level 20. I've never gone up to level 20 as far as like starting there, but that's just for you to know. I start on default, work my way up, but I'm gonna talk about the pros and the cons of doing it that way in a minute. So you can start off from level 1 to 20 when you start. Number 2, we gotta talk about progression rate. Progression rate is the rate that you earn XP in order to get access to the skill trees. So you earn XP by doing things like recruiting. Let's say you find a gym. Let's say you find a bust. You get different amounts of XP based on you accomplishing in-game goals and goals that's in the menu. So that's the first two things that you need to know. We'll talk about like the sliders and all that in a later episode so that y'all can be up to the grueling black set. But before, that's what we can start as a baseline, and now we can go to the skill tree so we can like really dive into it and what they are, what they mean, and what comes with it when you are putting these points, your upgrade points towards these skill trees.
All right.
And speaking of coordinators, your coordinator, whether you're an offensive or defensive coordinator, is going to progress at a slower rate than your head coach. Just because the head coach takes in all the accomplishment or the XP goals for the whole entire team. So offense, defense, if I score a touchdown, if I get a turnover, all of that goes into my head coaching. But if you're an offensive coordinator, you're only going to benefit for the offensive side of the balls, XP and recruiting. But we'll break that down later in the episode.
Absolutely. So I think what I should have done, because I can't even adjust any of these, for Coach Mike Loxley. Um, Let me think. Should we restart one?
Yeah, you can restart. You can restart, and
Restart. Gotcha.
but if you do it, you're gonna have to either set the level to like just to 20, just to let them
Gotcha.
see. Or
Gotcha.
we can do it a way where you can go to one of your old dynasties like Illinois, and
I think it's Max. Yeah, it's either Max with Illinois or Navy. For real, for real. So,
you can do Navy.
all right.
Do Navy. And then since it's already max, we can dissect all of them since it's already max.
Gotcha.
But there are four different levels, four different levels of the coaching skill tree. You have game management, you have recruiting, you have offensive and defensive coordinators, and like I said before, you're going to have a slower progression rate when you are an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator than you would as an head coach. That's just something that you just need to know right off the bat. No arts and crafts. Um, as
Hey, go ahead.
but as far as that, we'll get it started with Navy since in
All right.
honor of McNeil the goat.
All right. So, and I ain't gonna lie, man. It's dark as hell where I'm at, man. Hey, Wayne the Scott, what's good, bro? How you doing, man?
Ooh, they're starting in the off season. You ain't. I remember now. You never did this.
Yeah, yeah. I about wild then. King MJ 2131. What's going on, man? So if you starting the game, do you prefer head coach, coordinator, or defensive coordinator? Great question. I'll let Moon Vibes
All right.
dial in
So
on that.
he on Ice Kid. My personal preference, I like starting off as a coordinator, and this is the reasons why. Number one, you don't have to worry about the head coaching because the head coach already has the skills. They already has the upgrade. So a lot of times, let's say you mentioned
Great point, Jalen.
somebody mentioned Bama earlier. Let's say you do go to Alabama as an offensive coordinator. Um, you're gonna inherit all of the head coaching, so all of that is gonna be unlocked. So you'll start off recruiting with probably insta commits already. We'll talk about that later. You'll probably start off with your scouting maxed out, so you can uncover the prospect's true skill rating, and most importantly, all you get to do is focus on the offensive or the defensive side of the ball for the whole season and just worry about recruiting. It's just that's basically what it's about, worrying about recruiting. So me personally, I love starting as offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, working my way up. And from there, in my dynasty that I'm playing right now, I started off as an offensive coordinator for California. I had Jared Goff on my roster. I ended up benching him for my backup. Like it was crazy.
I remember
But
you telling me about that.
yeah, and I was I'll tell you why the reason why it's broken, how in a minute, but um I started off in California, then we moved to Colorado, offensive coordinator. Then I went to Ohio State, offensive coordinator, won the Natty, but it didn't really count. Then I went to Duke. I won two Natties in the span of 4 years as Duke, and then now I'm at Michigan. And I started off as the OC. It feels more rewarding to me when you start off as an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, just because you're working your way up, and you get a chance to not only work your way up, but recruit and really hone in and practice recruiting. So when you do get to your head coaching position, you're now able to take all the techniques and different skills that you use when you're recruiting to help you in this head coaching job. So it just depends on perfect personal preference. But um, you know, I like the road to be as hard as possible. So I either start as an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator and work my way up. Yeah, testing, testing, testing. They trying to nah, it's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. Okay, bet we back.
Couldn't hear me, bro.
Oh, okay.
They can hear me now, but pretty much what I was saying was thank you, he on Nice Kid. That's pretty much what we want. We want it to be all inclusive while we're having these discussions. If y'all have questions, shoot them. You got the Guru Moon vibes here, man. My teacher and my offensive coordinator. So, hey, why utilize the people you got? So I was pretty much saying that we pretty much, I'm pretty much. So it says boom. So we at the skill tree section now.
All right, let me know. Let me know when you're ready for me. Until then, I'm about
I
to.
bet. So pretty much they're maxed out as far as the recruiting, and I think that's more so what we was talking about. So you can go ahead and get started.
All right. So, let me go back to the screen. Can you pull up the? Okay, now I see. I see. Okay, let's start with game management.
Game management. Alrighty.
But let me tell you first before we start, it's not to me. Game management is not as important as recruiting. I would ever since I've got this game, I put my money towards recruiting first and foremost
Mm-hmm.
because if I can't bring prospects to my school, I'm gonna lose every game. It don't matter how good I manage it. So I use game management afterwards after I get all these
Mm-hmm.
high profile recruits.
Mm-hmm.
So because at the beginning of them, let's just start at the beginning.
Okay,
At
so
your
you want me to undo all of the reset the skill tree, and you want to go through each step?
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
my guy, this is what I'm talking about right here. So under game management, the first selection is Road Warrior. So I can click them one at a time so they can see the different what you get. If you got it, for one, two, three, however you want to do it, just let me know, brother.
and while you do that, we could just reset. And then while you do that, I'll just break each one down, let everybody know. Game management, I'm not gonna break it as deeply into it as
Mm,
I would recruiting,
okay,
but I'll give you a basis of it. So we start off at the bottom.
okay.
And game manager, you have. I got my notes with me, ladies and gentlemen.
So Road Warrior is the first one that I see.
Role warrior is your quarterback. Your quarterback does not get affected by the home field advantage on the road. So your controller vibrating. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
The play art when you're trying to look at your play, it'll be shaky all the time. Especially if you're playing in high profile environments, like think Michigan at the Big House, or even Clemson at Clemson, or at Alabama, or at these high profile schools. They or even in rivalry games, they come important. And Road Warrior is more so for your quarterback. Like, look, he's not gonna get rattled. And then you have the next one. To his right is
Mm-hmm.
antifreeze. Now,
Antifreeze. Mm-hmm.
yeah, antifreeze is basically for your kicker. It's if you have a kicker that's not Austin Greeny, green. Listen, you might need it. I never need it because I don't kick, and I don't kick field goals. I'm at your juggler every time. I'm trying to score. I'm not trying to get three. but it helps you because there is times, especially on the black set, where the computer will like, make your kick be shorter than what it is, especially since you're dealing with lower field goal power anyway. So that helps
Absolutely.
not because NCAA, they have this history of when you're in game time, ready to go, kick that game-winning field goal, they'll call a timeout, and now the angle of your kick is changed now. So instead of doing it with the wide shot version, they zone it in. So now you're only looking at the kicker. So you have to be absolutely perfect. And they have this thing where they put the lock for you to kick is frozen. So antifreeze helps with that, where your kicker will not be affected by that.
And
So
that is super handy. It is super handy.
clutch when you need it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it like this: if I don't got a good kicker, then 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to use it.
Right.
But I noticed that it works. It works on kickers. It doesn't work on punters.
Mm-hmm.
So punters aren't really included in that. I wish they had some type of dynamic where they can add punters,
Uh-huh.
but they're not really included.
Right.
So we're still in game management. Then we
Yes,
go
sir.
up
Matchup.
and matchup. So
Mm-hmm.
matchup is this. It's basically finding the best mismatch, and you are attacking based off that mismatch. So
Mm-hmm.
all your matchups are going to be shown to you from the offense's point of view. So you're on offense, you get to see all your mismatches with your line. It'll show green, or it'll show red at the bottom of it. That lets you know what mismatch it is, whether they have low stamina, high stamina, and then they also showcase that with your running back, your fullback, your wide receivers, and your quarterback. Um,
Absolutely.
your quarterback. So that comes in handy when you are in a game where you need a big play, and I'm about to run a streak on the outside, but maybe my slot guy has a better matchup than my outside guy because the inside guy is shorter in the slot. He might be shorter, he might be a little slower, and everything like that. So that's when those things come in handy, especially on the offensive side. That's matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then we get to the next one, which is setup artist.
Uh,
Setup artist is basically having greater success with run plays, so that they can set up the play action pass um, faster and vice versa. So, meaning, let's just use KT, the offense moon vibes, wherever it
mm-hmm.
doesn't matter whether it's a spread
Mm-hmm.
or if it's like air raid or whatever. Let's say I'm running read option, and I'm running out of spread flex. So there's two wide receivers each side,
Mm-hmm.
open field, so the defense is spread out. But where setup artist comes in is, let's say I'm doing read option, HB dive, HB sweep. Those are my first three play calls. Where setup artist works is they'll have a setup thing come up on your screen that says, "Ooh, this is a setup play. You should try. You should try like a play action jet sweep pass," and it'll show you as that as a setup play. Now, there's three different levels to it, just like all the different skill trees. There's three different levels to it. Now, level one, it'll work like 10 to 15% of the time. Level two, it'll work like 25, 35% of the time. Number three, it'll work 50% of the time most. So you have to take that into account. So let's say you running, but then you feel like, okay, I need to take a shot over the top. This comes in handy because literally the computer would make some type of stuff happen where like the defense will like crash down on your read option thinking it's a read option, and now you're free over the top. So that's where setup artist works. It's kind of self-explanatory with the name.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It comes in handy when you are doing game when you're talking about game management and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So out of those first four, does anybody have any questions for those?
And I'm glad you came to this point because you're right. I want them to ask as many questions as possible. So the setup artist is like if you run power O to the right, get
Mhm.
5-7 yards. You run power O to the left, you get 15-20 yards. that play action power O, that tight end in the corner probably gonna be wide open, like Moon Vibe said, because the defense is gonna crash. Also, I wanted a couple more people just came in here. McNeil LeGoat, I seen your statement. Yeah, you should definitely do that because you're popular. Also, Jamonte the God is in the building, man. Shout out with the big body host. For all of y'all who's just tuning in, this is something we like to call Masterclass. With your boy Moon Vibes, man. He's been, like I said, he's my teacher. He's my offensive coordinator. So he's not only getting me hip because he don't know I'm taking notes during the process as well, but he's also getting y'all hip to a lot of stuff. So did y'all have any questions on any of the first four in the game management category with setup artist, matchup, role warrior, or antifreeze?
I want to spotlight something that Howell 8 said.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. He said, pretty sure it tells you the height, speed, acceleration, differential.
Mm-hmm.
That's big facts. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to use that to your advantage because I know we talk about all the time with, scouting the team and seeing who's like, let's say if I'm playing Ohio State, I want to look at like, all right, what their receivers like, who's the fastest one, who has the highest acceleration. With the setup artist in the matchup, it helps you to see that on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is I think you have to hold your left trigger down and press down on the directional pad on your directional pad. It'll showcase it to you. So you have to use that to your because sometimes we be in just playing the game, we get so caught up in like everything that goes into the game that we just forget that sometimes we have just outstanding matchups. But if you don't see them, that's where matchup comes in, where you can just flick it down and just look and say, okay, my outside receiver is going against a star shutdown corner. Maybe I don't want to go that way. Maybe I need to look at somewhere else on the field. Like maybe, and then that's not even adding on to the fact that like if you run like a spread offense, my favorite formation is like spread flex, even though they need to upgrade it. And most of all the passes in there is risky, but it's one of my favorite formations because it spreads out the field. When you spread out the field, you can see the matchups even more now.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in I formation and all you're looking at is the tight ends and the linebackers and everything like that, it's more condensed. So if nobody has any other questions, I guess we can go to the next four and break those down.
All right. So up next we got we go from left to right. We got clean laundry. And I think Hawaii 8 just said something as well. He said the game manager skill for quarterback level 2 makes it so your team can't false start.
Yes, and that's like that's where we start as a ground level, and then we add on to it with clean laundry. This is adding on to it, saying that your team as a whole doesn't cause penalties.
Mm-hmm.
It's three different levels for it. Clean laundry, kind of explanatory, but with this, it's just limiting the penalties for your team. Now, I wrote down something. Let me see. It says play discipline and avoid costly penalties. Caution. Caution. Increasing team aggressiveness will cancel the skill.
Wow.
So that's important because I play aggressive sometimes. And just getting so caught up in the flow of the game, we might think like, oh, like I'm not the only person that lost track of my adjustments, whether it's offense or defense.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you on offense, you run in no huddle, you get so used to having no huddle on that you just forget to turn it off. Or if you have like aggressiveness for your zone coverage or whatever, or aggressiveness for big hits. So if you do this and you have the clean laundry coaching tree skill, turn that aggressiveness on, whether it's offense or defense, it is going to cancel out that. So that is something that we got to say first and foremost. But it's three different levels to it, and it goes into what how said. It's just adding on to not having any penalties even more, but it's for your whole team. So that's I'm actually
So
you
Joel
act
H just asked another question. He was saying aggressive strip ball can still cause a face mask. He said, "Is that
yes,
what you're saying?" Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So aggressive strip ball, yes, can still face mask. Exactly.
I think
Um
one of my
or another thing is like let's say you have it's more so on Madden than it is on NCAA, but whenever you put your D line or your pass rush, for example, on aggressive, they'll have more offsides because they're
mhm,
jumping, they're trying to get the team.
mhm.
So that's another thing that it will go into. So yeah, you're right, How.
I think one of my biggest issues when I'm playing the game, the emotional aspect of it. When I play Madden, and I don't want to say this to take a shot at Madden. It's just I don't. The atmosphere is different. Like the crowd isn't as involved. Your screen isn't shaking, so it's different. So a lot of times, I'm able to just be an assassin and just pay attention to what's going on. With this CAA, sometimes I lose sensory. Like I lose like exactly where I am in the game, and I don't utilize a lot of these things just because I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the emotions of the game. So I
Mhm.
always find that interesting.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it because it's we both play on the same settings. We play
Mhm.
at 7 minutes,
Mhm.
very fast,
Mhm.
zero speed, zero minimum speed threshold,
Mhm.
and we'll talk about those in the sliders section of this video. I mean, of this, I guess you can call it masterclass.
Mhm.
But you do get lost into everything that's going on with the game, and that's why if you have some of these game management skill trees, you have to be even more dialed into what's going on every single possession
Mhm.
because you might mess around and let's say penalties. Let's say it's late in the game, 3rd and 5, and your team is on offense, and you need 5 yards to get the first down, but you're in your territory, you're in their territory, so you're most likely going to go for it on 4th down. And let's say you forget that you have your offensive adjustments, which you're blocking on aggressive. So holding blocks is on aggressive, and you have the game manager. So clean laundry is on max for 3, and it says right there that the CPU is 90% less likely. But if you have that aggressive on, it's automatically canceled out. So you just went from being 90% less likely to
Mhm.
being back at normal
Right.
on the black set.
Right.
And you're on 3rd and 5. So let's say like you do like a hesitation just to try to get them off sides. And now your team, your offensive lineman jumps, and now you got to go 5 yards back. So you went from 3rd and 5 to now 3rd and 10, and you're looking at a totally different ball game now. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Oh well.
so yeah, just saying that no false start would be a huge help with the fake snap button with 3rd and 4th. Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't have it on aggressive, your team is not going to jump. Your team is not going to jump, and you're most likely to bring them off sides so you can get that first down.
Right.
And it's important yardage. We've seen KT lose a game yard line and the goal line. Like it's real. Like,
uh-huh.
and so I guess we can go to the next one.
Alrighty. So up next, and great job with that, by the way, Moon Vibes. I thought you explained that very well. We got big game. The bigger the game, the hotter your team starts. Hot players get performance bonuses.
Hmm. And there's a reason why I said that I love recruiting skill tree more than I love this because imagine playing with the recruits that you brought in, and now these same recruits are hot now because it's real in the game. Players go hot, cold,
Mm-hmm.
all that. So another way you can look at it is when we be watching KT play, we'll notice why is it that the running back is starting off so slow? Like, why is it that when he gets the ball, he's like moving in slow motion? That's because he's on cold. The more carries that he gets, the more that he's going to get in a rhythm. That's what everybody, the quarterbacks, the running backs, your defense, everybody. So with this skill tree, you max it all out, and it says maxed out that your team starts off very hot in rivalry, bowl games, and championship games. That's important
Yeah.
because clutch times. But even at the basis of that level, I think that you can call a timeout and get your players to go from cold to hot.
Hmm.
So peep this. We know how the computer loves to use no huddle. Computer uses no huddle like no other.
That
They'll
shit's frustrating, bro.
especially on defense.
Hmm.
Especially on defense. So just imagine yourself doing no huddle and then all of a sudden your team is giving up yardage, and now your players are fatigued and they're cold. We don't just call timeouts just because their players are fatigued or that we need to change the play, but sometimes you just need to call a timeout just to get your players hot again. AKA, we'll get to our next one, light a fire, which is the next one. So all of these game managements kind of work hand in hand with each other. Like they all go together. So it's kind of just building on top of it, if that makes sense. So then we get light a fire, which is one of my favorite, especially since I just now got a chance to like mess around with it
Hmm.
and test it out.
Right.
But the players can get hot and cold, call a timeout to fire up the team when they need it. We see
Right.
this all the time. So let's say there's been plenty of times where I watched you play and the the team like you're winning, but the team will call a light of fire and all of a sudden it's a turnover on you.
Right.
It's not even a bad ball.
Hmm.
It's not even that your running back made a bad juke. It's not even that he read the hole wrong. It's just simply that the opposing team they got their players from cold to very hot now,
Hmm.
and now somebody is liable and just willing and able to make a big play. So that's what that goes into. So I feel like light of fire and big game, those two work hand in hand with each other. So if you're getting up there in that coaching skill tree for game management, I would spend my money on big game and lighting a fire before I spend my upgrade XP, I should say, on clean laundry and Coach Damas. But we'll get to Coach Damas in a second.
Alrighty. So, want to welcome a couple people, man, that just joined in. The Truth Gaming is in the building. So I'm not back to Navy. I was telling everybody inside of my Discord that I had a major announcement. This is the major announcement. Moon Vibes and I are doing a 10-part series, and we're going to dive in even deeper than that. We'll just call it season 1, a 10-part series. So this is our Ncaa 14 masterclass. It's something we had in our raps. I don't even know how we kept quiet about this shit. I was so excited. I wanted to tell y'all what it was, but I couldn't.
Even know either, bro.
So the next skills tree is Coach Damas for under game management. I'm gonna let Moon Vibes do what he do best.
So with Coach Damas, you can go ahead and max it out just so they can see what.
Alrighty.
Well, first off, it's self-explanatory, but I'm gonna read it. It says, "Learn which plays and play types your opponent calls, so you can be a step ahead."
Hmm.
So level 1 is so level 3 is 25%. It's a 25% chance to correctly identify to play the type that your opponent is going for. This is important because of many reasons. I really love Coach Adamas. Like I really love it more than any of the skill tree and game management. But level 1 tells you their previous call. Level 2 goes so far to like it's just adding on more and more knowledge. So the reason why it's important is, let's say those people that play Madden is like kind of like all about tendencies and reading and knowing your opponent's tendencies. So let's say your opponent loves to run smash routes, or the computer is killing you on smash routes,
Mm-hmm.
Madden or NCAA. You'll be ahead of the wave by knowing, okay, now that I know what that last play is, every single time that they get in that formation, I have to know, ding, 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 they're about to run a smash. So I got to prepare for it. I got to make the adjustments. So it's
Mm-hmm.
basically giving you more information that you wouldn't have already had when you're just going regularly, just playing the game. It lets you know previous play is power O, previous play is halfback screen. So you know not only know what the play is, but you can monitor the formations too, so you can be ahead of what they're doing. So you max it out, and I honestly feel like this is probably the one of my favorite skill, or one of my favorite parts of the skill tree for game management, and I think that is so important that it should be at the very very top. But instead of at the very top, um, it is that is the clutch one, and there's only certain people that make it all the way up to the top of the coaching skill
Man,
tree
what?
for game. But sometimes you have players on your team that are already clutch that don't need it. But with the clutch one, I'll just go through that real quick. You can go ahead and max that out.
All right.
Clutch, your team always seems to get high. I mean, to get through high pressure situations and perform better. Hot players get performance bonuses. So, peeping what we just said, and the reason why I said they all add up on top of each other. So, imagine calling the timeout, and now your players go from cold to very hot. But you just started the fourth quarter. So now not only did your players get very hot, but the very hot players on your team get performance boosts. So that's adding even more fuel to the fire for it to be a big play. So that's how game manager and game management will help you stay in games. And I'm not dismissing it by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you use it correctly, but you have to I think about it like this. If I don't have the talent, there's no way I'm gonna be able to manage a game because I'm gonna be blown out. I'm gonna get blown out every time. Like, and that's for the people that
Exactly, Howell.
like to do rebuild dynasties and stuff like that. But yes, Coach Adamas is always right. Always. I haven't found an instance that Coach Adamas was wrong. And if it tell you, oh my gosh, watch out for the screen pass, and you gotta like tailor
Mm-hmm.
it to it. So if it says watch out for the screen pass, why are you running cover four?
Right.
You gotta adjust your defense.
And
If it
play
says
mine.
watch out
Yeah.
for O, why am I in dime or dollar defense? Like switch it up, you know, to hold on to it. So